Welcome to Ask the Experts, where we dive into the best places to live, play and invest. As we know, the Costa del Sol is known for its sunshine, lifestyle and world-class golf. Now, joining us today is former golf pro and local resident Oliver Nash, here to share his insights on life in this region, his favourite golf courses and the real pros and cons of living right on the fairway. So, let's get started. Oliver, great to see you.
Right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Really
what
good.
an absolute pleasure. It feels surreal. I'm on set.
I know you're here in the Cloud9
Yeah.
HQ studios. No, it's great to see you. And of course, so you are a very familiar face for some people down here.
Thank you.
I think.
Not sure who. My mum and dad are big fans. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. Okay. Now, you've spent years here, haven't you? Now,
Yes.
I think you actually grew up here on
I
the
did
coast, didn't
indeed.
you?
Yes, I did, yeah.
What is it about the Costa del Sol, do you think, that keeps people coming back and, you know, even relocating for good?
Yeah. I think it depends on probably the generations that you ask. And do you know what a big thing is? I reckon Marbella caters for every stage in life, right? So let's say you're fresh out of uni, early 20s, you can come to Marbella and you could live that party lifestyle that we've all enjoyed. And then as you start to get, early 30s, it is set up for family life. The schools are fantastic. The restaurants, probably the activities are not spoken about as much, of the sorts of things you can get up to. And then, of course, as it goes on, as you get later in life, it's got to be the perfect place to retire.
Yeah, for sure. Now, for someone who's never been, how would you describe life here on the Costa del Sol, as opposed to perhaps comparing it to the hustle and bustle of the UK or somewhere like that?
It takes a while to adapt, I'd imagine. What we get from the business we're in is probably that a frustration of, yes, it's so international, but of course it is. We're in Spain, and it does have that culture of living by the seaside, so slightly a bit more relaxed than the hustle and bustle. But once you adapt to that and understand the differences, I think it's way better for you. You know what I mean? Everything is so instant, and speed, of course, is your friend in business as such, but there's nothing wrong with things taking an extra day. Do you know what I mean? We all love a bit of mañana, exactly. So you do get used to it.
Now, actually, I mean, a lot of people are now considering sort of coming over to Europe, coming over to the Mediterranean from places like the US or the UK, which is probably quite understandable. I can see why the attraction is there. Obviously, with a lot of places to choose in the Mediterranean, why do you think this one is perhaps a better choice, would you say?
I think if we look in recent times, I'm probably not old enough to think back 10 years and then have a good view of what it used to be. But now it's genuinely becoming somewhere that you could start a business and flourish and be surrounded by the right sort of people in terms of entrepreneurs, people that are looking to also grow their own businesses. I've always felt, and this is purely based off of personal feeling and experience, that Marbella's got a lot of wealth, okay? But a lot of the time, people have made their money outside, okay, and then come here to retire or to enjoy their money with the business being run back home or elsewhere. Whereas I do think we're seeing with this whole Marbella 2.0 that it's becoming that place where you can set up a business and live and work and find that balance.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tech hub as well. Malaga
it's getting big, yeah. Malaga's
Everyone's
massive.
talking about this, aren't they?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And actually, Malaga itself, I stayed there a few months ago for the weekend, took the family. It's incredible there. I really like it there as well.
I think we all forget that if you say, Marbella, Old Town, it's 40 minutes really. And it is fantastic. The amount of restaurants you've got there, it does give you that little bit of the taste of city life that you can then dip in and out of, which we quite enjoy. Probably a little bit as we get a bit older, you probably want that a bit more culture and to go and see, which is, a hugely important city.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's talk golf.
Let's talk golf.
Because you know all about golf. You can talk golf because former golf pro, as we know.
Yes, that's true.
So you've played all over the world, haven't you? And what makes the Costa del Sol so special in your view?
I mean, yeah, that's a lovely introduction. I was very fortunate to at least have the opportunity to pursue a career as a professional golfer for good or indifferent, didn't get the opportunity to play at the heights of your Rory McIlroys, etc. But certainly, I feel very fortunate to have even had the opportunity to live it and even attempt to make it at the highest level. I mean, Marbella's an absolute. I think the Costa del Sol in general has the nickname Costa del Golf. I think that kind of is self-explanatory from the huge variety of golf courses. I think it's changing slightly. I think it's becoming more and more and more exclusive in terms of the cost to play golf here. But it's always going to be a go-to from the fact that you've got, from a visitor, you could stay in a hotel and have 6 golf courses surrounding within 5 to 10 minutes, which is hugely helpful if you're trying to organise a golf break. And then you've got that mixture of the nightlife and the restaurants, and then the spa. You know, if you did want to come with your partner, they can enjoy themselves whilst you go off and play a bit of golf.
For sure. Now, there's over 70 golf courses, as we know.
Yeah.
Any of your favourites? So if you could pick...
standout,
Yeah, that stand out. Perhaps if we go along the coast from, say, Sotogrande,
okay.
all the way up to, say, sort of Marbella or the
Yeah, of course, yeah. Let's do an advanced and a beginner as we go.
Yeah, okay,
right?
Go on. Yeah.
So if we start in Sotogrande, I think if you don't put Valderrama in the same bracket, that is kind of the
because it was so everyone knew that name, didn't they? Yeah. When it was used. What was it? Was it probably 25 years ago?
Yeah, they had the Ryder Cup there. So obviously Tiger Woods played there. It's the go-to. It's what they call the Augusta of Europe. I mean, a huge recommendation, of course. It's one of those bucket lists. If you're a fanatic, it's painfully difficult. I think it's one of those that you might enjoy ticking off and saying you've done it and experienced what it is to be at such a prestigious golf club. But if you don't get the opportunity due to vacancies, etc., you have got a stone throw away the Real Club de Golf Sotogrande, which many do put as a golf course layout as probably slightly higher ranked, and most definitely probably a bit more enjoyable for the average level golfer.
So moving this way then towards our area of towards Estepona, Marbella, etc. What in line what other ones would stick out along that journey, if you like, coming east, if you like?
Yeah. So you've got El Paraíso, which is for, once again, your average golfer, going to be extremely rewarding and fun. You know what I mean? It does let you miss a fairway and you're not in the bushes, you're not in the lake. You can actually go out and have a good time. And then I think if you really want to start challenging yourself, you do have the likes of, we've got obviously Via Padierna, very nearby to yourselves here. And they've got 2 golf courses. You've got Los Flamingos. Once again, really good fun, not too long, very risk and reward. And then you've got their big boy championship course, which is Alferini. And that's a test. You've got to hit it a long way just to get to the fairways. But I think one of my big things is pick the right tees. No, you don't have to play off of the professional ones to prove a point. I think that would be the biggest. If you said a bugbear, there's no pride involved. You'll have a lot more fun if you play off the tees that actually suit your game. Yeah. And I don't anymore. It's very rare that I'll play off the furthest back because it's there for fun now.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You want to enjoy it.
Are there any underrated courses that are hidden
I've
gems
got one. I've got one. I was ready for this question.
Tell me. Yeah.
Right. It's near Mijas.
Right.
And it's called Santana. Right. And I don't think it's given enough. It's a hidden gem.
Yes.
Right. And I'm trying to get the word out more and more.
Right.
But no, it's fantastic.
Why so?
The condition is spectacular. Of course, we all have the high season and low seasons when they do a bit more maintenance and spike the greens, etc. But when it's at its best, it's flawless. And it's fun again. There needs to be this big emphasis on it's enjoyable. You can hit a few offline, and you're going to find the ball. The greens are big enough that you don't have to be pinpoint. But it's well worth the trip. I mean, that whole area, the whole Mijas area, is littered with golf courses.
That's interesting. Now, the climate down here might be different to where some people, if they've never been to the Costa del Sol to play golf or maybe live.
Yeah.
How does that affect the conditions of play, would you say? Because recently we've had So much rain. We're
tough.
normally very dry here,
Yeah.
aren't we? I know that the courses are watered, etc. But how does that change compared to other places?
There's a few factors. When we get this much rain, it does affect, I would say, the golfer's experience. We're buggy driven here.
Yeah.
Like in the UK especially, it's almost rare that you use a buggy. It's traditional walking golf, carrying your bag or using a trolley. But the buggies are a big thing here. The courses are quite mountainous, etc. So the heat plays a huge role in that. Now there's some pros and cons. As it gets hotter, those key tee times probably starting anywhere before 9:30 are normally booked out. But you could get the little twilight deals that are on an evening as the nights get longer. You can be playing till 9 o'clock at night, which is a wonderful experience
lovely,
as the
isn't
sun's
it?
going. Yeah,
I think this
doesn't
time of
get
year is
better.
gorgeous as well.
Yeah,
isn't it?
this
It's not
is
too
as good
hot.
as it gets. This
Right.
is golf in high season on the Costa del Sol, and then we go back to that. September through towards the end of November is also the high season.
Right, okay, let's talk living now, all right? Because living on a
here we go.
frontline golf sounds like a dream.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, what's some of the biggest perks in your opinion? Let's talk about the pros.
Yeah. Well, one goes without saying, you're there. Do you know what I mean? This is the car stays in the garage, you're a walk to the golf course. I think if you become a member, you're then integrated straight away to the community. I think it's such a fantastic way to meet people. Another thing is, you wake up on the morning, the smell of fresh cut grass, you've got nature, you normally hear the birds chirping. It's a wonderful place to be, of course it is. I'm sure some of those may play into also the cons that I'm sure we'll have a little talk about.
Let's be honest, right? What are the
Yeah.
downsides, would you say?
Downsides are they have to cut the grass, and they certainly don't.
And actually, I can hear something outside the studio. One of
Yeah.
the infamous leaf blowers.
Oh,
and they're so
yeah.
noisy, aren't they?
No, they're big, and they use
Yeah.
big old machines. When it comes to autumn, they want to get all the leaves off of the fairway. They're not hand; they are big, big machines that blow the leaves. And they don't do it in the middle of the day when everyone's playing. They tend to prepare the golf course first thing in the morning. And I've most definitely had that experience of yes, what a way to wake up.
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely the pros and cons, and the pros must outweigh the cons.
Yeah, I think it's always nice to look at a beautiful green outside, isn't it? Things like that. Have you ever had anything where the balls are coming into the terraces of the houses?
Oh, it's like an absolute ping pong match. You know what I mean, they're bouncing all around. And most of the time, it's me now going and saying, "Excuse me,
Oh, no.
could I have my ball back?" Do you know what I mean? That is the one with the line on it. Yes. Yeah.
What about values, in your opinion? I mean, values of frontline golf. I mean, do you think they hold their value?
I think it has a huge bearing. The ownership of the golf course, the prestigiousness of the golf course. There's certain golf courses, they're always going to be there. If you live anywhere near Valderrama, for example, it's a given. There's other ones where I think if you could gain an insight into potentially any notes from the general meetings of, okay, so how does it function? Because a lot of it is a collaboration between the urbanizations that live nearby or the homeowner associations that live nearby and the golf course. And I know for a fact they do have regular meetings of who's cutting those trees, who's doing this, who takes the bins out. In terms of a value, it's going to highly depend on the status of the golf course, and that probably is a generic answer, but I'd imagine it goes without saying the prestigious golf courses are usually located in prestigious areas, or if not, the golf course becoming prestigious has elevated. So probably a good way to look at if there's new developments on a golf course that was a standalone, there is the potential of this becoming what would you say, almost like a country club. So if people start building and people start coming, the facilities usually adapt to that. And I think that's a big point. If they've got your spas, etc., then that is huge added value.
Well, I guess this is what they should be looking for when looking for a property as well, and doing that due diligence and deciding,
Massively,
asking and just visiting as well.
There's a few factors to think about, because look at you can live on a golf course, but as you're saying, what amenities does that provide? Of course, what it doesn't mean is you buy the house, you get a membership. I think that can sometimes be a little bit of, well, we've just bought down the road, so are we a member? And you're like, well, it doesn't quite work like that. But have a look at what they've got as we go back to the spas, the facilities, driving ranges, things like that, because that does have a bearing usually on if the golf course is a commercial golf course or a members golf course. And the important thing is there, one is hugely focused on green fees, in and out customers, repetitive, making the most out of the seasons, whereas member golf courses is a lot more all year round, similar faces, and the members have a bit more of a say in how everything works.
Yeah. Okay. Where would you go for your perfect post-round meal or drink of an evening? Around here. Let's do it local.
Yeah,
immediate.
let's do local.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I would probably nip up to Benavis.
Yeah.
Right? I think you get that. You've been on the golf course all day. You can go up. There's some fantastic little traditional restaurants.
So Cabanas del Golf, is it Higueral there, the golf course?
That's it. El Higueral's up there. So you are a stone throw. You've got Los Arqueros.
Yeah.
Give them a little shout out. You've got there.
So Benavis Village, what? Just because it's got everything.
It's got quaint. It's nice. You can park there. You can park at the bottom of the hill and take a nice little stroll afterwards. You can, if you want to go and watch the football, they've got that up there. If you want to, you can have a curry. You could have tapas. There's a new restaurant. I don't know the name. Yeah.
Any golf clubs that you'd always frequent for a nice drink and a good atmosphere?
I think if you are Scandinavian, Los Naranjos is the go-to, and I think they celebrate all of their national holidays. The community up there is massive, hugely important, and probably an interesting one. I think Santa Clara, which is towards near the Costa del Sol Hospital, nice, Marbella East Way, is I think becoming quite a community for Polish golfers. I see a lot online. They've got a Polish golf coach there, and definitely one. I think there's becoming a little hub around that area. Obviously, there's a lot of new developments. So that's definitely one to look out for, and something that I don't think gets enough mention. Their social media is good as well, which is always interesting.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And one final one for you, because it's always nice to ask some questions. If you could choose, or if you had one golf course to play for the rest of your life only, which one would it be?
That's a big one. Yeah. Do you know what? I would genuinely either my Santana, right, my hidden gem.
Yes, yeah.
Or I genuinely think Villa Padierna, the Los Flamingos golf course is fantastic. It's good fun. Everyone can enjoy it for all levels, and I think that's the key to enjoying your golf.
Brilliant.
Right?
Oliver, thanks for your insights.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
It's always nice to just chew the fat, isn't it?
Of course
and
it is.
Have a chat
and have
with
a
some
good
great
chat.
people. But thanks ever so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure.
Great stuff. And from Oliver and myself, till the next time, keep watching. Bye for now.
Thank you.